I stepped off the curb in my quiet, tree-lined street in Asheville, North Carolina, where the air smelled like pine and damp earth after a summer storm. My heart beat steady, not from fear, but from something deeper, pride. The car I'd waited for 12 long months was finally mine, a custom matte black Tesla Model S Plaid, sleek as a shadow, silent as a thought. It wasn't just transportation, it was sanctuary, a place where I could breathe, where silence wasn't empty but full of possibility. I never raced it down the road, never revved it at midnight. In fact, I'd driven no faster than 10 miles per hour on these streets since I moved in. Not because I couldn't, but because I chose peace. And then came the letter. It arrived on a Tuesday morning, folded neatly beneath my windshield wiper like a threat disguised as bureaucracy. No envelope. No postage stamp, just paper. Crisp and cold. I unfolded it with one hand while sipping coffee from a chipped mug that said "World's Okayest Mom." The handwriting was sharp, jagged, the kind that screamed authority without saying a word. Your vehicle poses an imminent danger to the integrity and safety of this community. It read, its aggressive design, excessive speed potential, an intimidating presence violate the spirit of our neighborhood covenant. You have 14 days to remove it or face formal disciplinary action. I stared. Then I laughed. Not a polite chuckle, a real, deep belly laugh that startled a passing squirrel into flight. I snapped a photo with my phone, added it to a folder titled Karen Chronicles Volume 1, and went back inside. I told myself it was a joke, a bad one. Yes, but still, just a joke. Karen was the HOA president. Sure. But she was also the woman who once sent a cease and desist letter to a child's lemonade stand because she claimed the red cup violated the aesthetic harmony of the cul-de-sac. I figured this was just another chapter in her war against anything that looked too cool, too new, too alive. But the next morning, when I stepped outside to water my garden, I froze. My Tesla was gone, not stolen. Not vandalized in the usual way, scratched, spray painted, tires slashed. No, this was worse. The entire front end had been torn off, glass shattered like frozen rain, paint stripped down to bare metal. The hood was crumpled inward as if crushed by a giant hand. The wheels were bent beyond repair, and there, lying in the dirt beside the wreckage, was a heavy-duty wrench still dripping with oil and something darker. I didn't scream, didn't cry. Just stood there, hands clenched at my sides, breathing through my nose like I was holding on to something fragile. Then I heard footsteps. Denise, my neighbor from across the street, approached slowly, eyes wide, lips trembling. I saw Karen last night, she whispered. She was out here with the groundskeeper. They were carrying tools. I thought they were fixing the sprinkler system, but they weren't. They were working on your car. I didn't know it was you. I nodded. You did good. Denise, you did exactly what you should have done. That night, I sat alone in my living room. The lights dimmed, staring at the security footage from my porch camera. I played it over 3 times. There she was, Karen, in her floral housecoat, hair pulled back in a messy bun, standing over my ruined Tesla with a sledgehammer raised high. She wasn't hiding. She wasn't trying to be stealthy. She was enjoying it. She swung the hammer with wild glee, yelling at the sky, This thing is a menace. It's a weapon. It's not safe, her voice cracked with righteous fury. Like she was purging evil from the earth. I watched her swing again and again, each blow echoing through the screen like a scream. When it ended, I closed my eyes, and then I smiled, because I knew she hadn't counted on me. I called my lawyer first thing the next day. "We're suing," I said, "and we're winning." The police came. They reviewed the video. The officer shook his head. "Ma'am," he said, "this isn't just vandalism. This is domestic terrorism dressed up as neighborhood enforcement. She's got no shame. No mask. No gloves. Just Karen. Swinging a hammer like she's pruning roses." The HOA tried to spin it. A formal apology letter arrived, signed by 3 board members. But not Karen. She refused to sign. Instead, she showed up at the police station herself. Arms crossed. Yafset, I was protecting the children. She declared that car was a death trap. I acted in the best interest of the community. I'm the hero here, the officer blinked. "Miss Karen, do you admit to destroying this vehicle?" She looked him dead in the eye. I neutralized a threat. That's what responsible citizens do. I almost laughed. Almost. The civil case began 6 weeks later. My lawyer walked in with a laptop, a stack of evidence, and a smile that said game over. First slide the video. High definition. Karen mid-swing, face twisted in rage, sweat glistening under the porch light. The judge leaned forward, eyebrows raised. "Is this really how people enforce rules around here?" he asked quietly. Then came the emails, dozens of them, sent to every member of the HOA list. Subject lines like "dangerous speed, demon detected, and public menace alert, Tesla owner threatens child safety." One email even included a screenshot of my car parked legally in front of my home. Captioned, "Watch it." "It's always watching," Karen objected. "This is taken out of context," she shouted. The judge adjusted his glasses. "Ma'am, those are your words." When it was her turn to speak, she stood tall, clipboard in hand, a stack of blurry photos of my car parked peacefully on the street. "This vehicle is inherently dangerous," she insisted. "It's built for speed. It's loud. It's fast. It doesn't belong here." I had no choice. The judge sighed. "So you destroyed it because you believed it might go fast someday?" "Yes," she said, dead serious. "Even if it hasn't yet." I stood up, calm, collected. I spoke not with anger, but with clarity. I showed decibel logs proving the car emitted less noise than a whisper. GPS data showing every mile I'd driven, all under 10 miles per hour. Testimonies from 5 neighbors, people who'd never heard a single rev from my engine. One man even brought a sound meter to prove it. "The truth," I said, "is that Karen didn't care about safety. She cared about control, about power, about making sure no one else could feel as free as I do in my own home." The courtroom fell silent. The judge closed his file. "This is one of the most disturbing cases I've ever seen, not because of the damage, but because of the motive. Miss Karen, you have committed willful property destruction, trespassing, harassment, and defamation. You will pay full replacement cost of the vehicle, including upgrades. You will pay court fees, legal costs, and a fine for intentional harassment. The total comes to $297. Lane, her face turned white, then red, then gray. She collapsed into her chair. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. I didn't cheer. I didn't dance. I just sat there, sipping water from a glass. But inside, something lit up a quiet fire. I had won not because of money, but because I had proven something vital that no title, no badge, no self-appointed rulebook gives anyone the right to destroy another person's peace. 2 weeks later, the new car arrived. Same model, same matte black. But this time, I added red calipers. Custom stitching on the headrests, thanks. Karen. Subtle? Brutal. I drove it through the neighborhood at exactly 10 miles per hour. A speaker mounted under the dashboard played the theme song from Curb Your Enthusiasm softly, but clearly. Karen stood on her lawn, watering her roses. Her hands shaking. She looked up, saw me, stared, didn't move, didn't blink. I waved. She flinched. At the next HOA meeting, she tried to defend herself. I acted in good faith. She said, "The court system is biased. These things happen when people get too powerful." No one listened. Denise brought popcorn. Someone held up a sign that read, "Karen's Last Stand." The vote was unanimous. Karen was removed from the presidency. A motion passed to ban her from future meetings unless invited by a majority vote. She sold her Range Rover, took out a second mortgage. Her husband left. Her landscaper quit. Her poodle developed stress-induced alopecia and now hides under the bed whenever she walks into a room. And me, I installed a new camera system. Full perimeter. Motion activated. AI enabled. Karen never walks within 10 feet of my property now. She avoids my gaze like I'm a ghost. Like I'm Medusa. Like I'm the serpent in the garden she tried to kill. I keep the original letter framed above my garage door, right next to the security still of her swinging that hammer. Sometimes, I sit in the car, I turn it on, the engine hums silent, smooth, powerful. I look at the receipt from the court, the one that says full damages paid by defendant. I don't need revenge. I just needed justice. And sometimes, justice tastes like victory.